Well, it's around that time right here on KAZ Radio, where we have one of the most hottest shows, none other than Money Madness, with my friend and yours, artist, entrepreneur, millionaire, none other than JoAnn Ross Holly. How are you doing, Miss Holly?
Good evening, Pastor James. I am fantabulous, and I am so thrilled to be here this evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just feel so blessed every time I come down here, and I have to thank Pastor James because he does such a phenomenal job with bringing us all together, and it's just a blessing, and thank you so much. Let's tell you first what we're going to talk about today on Money Madness. We're going to find out why we're not successful in building our business. So if you have anybody, friends, a family, anybody that you know that needs a little extra income, that are trying to build their business, maybe just broke, whatever, call them. Tell them to turn on their computers or whatever and get ready because they need to hear this. Everybody needs to hear this. We're going to talk about what we need to do to reach our goals, and why aren't we turning our talents into money, and why are we listening to broke people? And I know people say, broke? Well, I'm not broke. Trust me, 97% of the population is broke. Let me define broke. Let's say you make $25,000 a year, and you're spending $30,000 a year. You're broke. Let's say you're making $100,000 a year, and you're spending $125,000. You're broke. People are broke at all levels. And we're going to have to start determining what we need to do or not to do if we want to become financially stable. There's two major reasons why businesses fail. The number one reason would be funds. When you're trying to build a business, you need funds to build up your business because you got to buy merchandise, whatever it is that you're selling. If it's a service, you still need to have some type of backup. It takes 3 to 5 years to build a business. So when you see small businesses going out of business in the first year, that's usually what happens. A number, 75% or more, go out of business in the first year. Because people have to understand you have to be able to carry yourself for 3 to 5 years in order to have a profit after that. So if you don't have enough money to pay all your bills at home and then to run a business, you will soon be out of business, okay? But this evening, I want to give you some encouragement and some hope on tonight. And that's what Lady Dorsey would say if she was here, on tonight. That's what Chelsea Purnell would say, preacher girl, on tonight. So I'm going to use their words tonight. I want you to take away your fears and let's start believing. Okay, we have to believe because we're walking down the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. And that's what we have to believe. If you believe, he will listen. But then you have to be quiet. You have to shut up, and you have to listen to the answer. See, it's one thing to do all the talking, but then can you listen to the answer? That's the key. I'm going to give you 3 phrases right now. I'm going to give you 3 at the end. The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. Number 2, a mistake repeated more than once is a decision. Number 3, choice, chance, and change. You must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything in life to change. there's a lot of different ways that money is generated. If we go back in time, when people were working on plantations, they worked all day, they worked all night, they did it all. And when they finished, they still didn't have nothing. And they were told they were going to get a mule and 40 acres or whatever, which they didn't. So from the beginning of time, we have really been working and working and working and never getting anywhere because we were in a system. When you're in a system, that's what happens. I mean, it could be good systems, but most of the time when you talk about a system, it's other people deciding your life and how you're going to live. Why? Because they control the money. Because people will say a whole lot of things, but when they start putting money on the table, it changes people's minds. Now they're going to do something different. So you really have to have value, and you really have to know what you're worth. So when we left slavery and the cotton fields, and they said, okay, you are free. Slavery is over. We weren't free. You can't be free broke. We were not free. They didn't give us land. They didn't give us a house. They didn't give us anything. Matter of fact, some of the slaves tried to go back to the plantation because they didn't know where to go, what to do. They've been stuck in slavery so long, they didn't know what to do. So we've been in a system, and we are in a system today. We just haven't woken up to realize that. Everything's systematic. You know, and when you put your money in the bank, they abuse that. They got all these rules and all these regulations that they don't even follow. And then they want you to put your money in their banks, and they might give you 1% interest after a year. Give me a break. I wouldn't give nobody my money for a year that's going to give me 1%. Before I would do that, I'd put it in a shoebox or get me a safe or whatever the case may be, because you know what? They're going to use that money to their advantage. And they're going to give you a couple of pennies. I don't think so. So we have to be able to take control of our money and how we spend it and how we save it. When you see people that are successful, you can hear people all the time saying, "Boy, I sure like to be like her. Oh, I'd like to be like him." Maybe, maybe not. You don't know what they went through to get to where they are. It's a struggle for a lot of people to get from the bottom to the top. Sure, there's people that's born in the wealth. That's a whole different story. And even the ones that's born in the wealth have issues, okay? They don't even understand how blessed they are. So you have to be very, very careful and stop trying to compare yourself to other people when you just have to be yourself. That's the bottom line. Who you are, what you want, and go after that. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. I don't care what the girl down the street is doing, or across town in another state. I don't really care. I'm happy for anybody that can do well. So let me give you a little bit of an idea of why we are failing. First of all, when we were going to school, we weren't taught anything that we should have been taught. We weren't taught our history. We were doing good just to get math and English. Because those are the only two I really cared about when I went to school, was math or English. The rest of it, whatever. Because you do need to know how to count your money, okay? And you do need to communicate with people. If you have those two things, you can make it. So we were taught to go to school, get a good education, and get a job, a job, which means just over broke. So now you're in another system. Because once you get, even if you go to college and get a degree, some people don't even get a chance to get a job in the area that they went to school for. They're still broke. They're still taking jobs that somebody has taken that didn't go to school at all. That doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, they got all this school debt where they owe $10,000, $100,000, $50,000, all kinds of. So now when you get out of school and you start working and you're not making that much money, how could you ever pay off $100,000 in school debt? Come on. That's ridiculous. So you have to make some choices up front, especially with the young generation coming up. You have to take some action that's going to benefit you. action is what it takes. You can talk all day long. You can talk till Jesus come back. But when it's all said and done, you got to get up and get to moving. And that's the bottom line. So let me tell you about Bill Britt. Bill Britt became a multimillionaire through Amway. You know, and everywhere he went, and they do like a lot of people do, they ask the question, what's your secret? I just want to know what your secret is. He said, there is no secret. I simply showed the plan to 1,200 people. 900 said no. Only 300 signed up. Out of those 300, only 85 did anything at all. Out of those 85, only 35 were serious, and out of those 35, 11 made me a millionaire. So that tells you it's perseverance, and you have to keep going. And you can't let negativity stop you, and you can't stay around negative people and think something positive is going to happen, because they don't know any better. They only know what they know. So that means that 75% of the people that he talked to said no. So I want to ask you a question. And if anybody wants to call in, you can start calling in now if you've got any questions, because you might have some in a minute. How many of you would let 75% of the population that you are dealing with, 75%, tell you no and you would continue on? How many of you would accept those many no's if he said 900 he started off with, and 900 said no? He heard 900 no's. How many of you would keep going after 900 no's? Very few. I can tell you that right now. Talk to 10 or 20 broke people and you out the game. Now, this is for people who are doing like a home-based business. Even if you have a brick and mortar business, it's the same thing. The only difference is you got to get up out the bed and go to it every day, and you got to come back home. Whereas if you have a home-based business, you can stay home, you don't have to leave. That's one of the best things I've ever seen. When I found out that I could work from home, it was on for me. Okay? It was on. Nobody else couldn't tell me nothing. Bye. That's all I needed to hear. But if you don't want to work at home, it's okay. I mean, it's your choice. But you can still, write off, just like if you had a regular business. If you have small children and you want to stay home, you don't want to put them in daycare. I mean, it's a planning stage that you have to get in order to figure out exactly what it is that you really want to do. But perseverance is really the number one thing. So if you're having issues opening up a business, you need funds, and it may also be because you have less than perfect credit. So guess what? You need to get your credit repaired. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. I don't care who says what, where, you listen at the TV, whatever. Yes, you do have to get a reputable company, but there's plenty of them out here. And it's worth every penny. Instead of walking around with a 500 credit score and you can't get any credit and you can't move. You're just stuck right there. Because they want you to have, 700 credit scores. Or you can get them a little less, but that's really, they want 700, 720, whatever, if you want to get good rates. And they're not really trying to give you a business loan either. So you really need to do whatever you do and save you up enough money, because they're not trying to give you a business loan. They want all this paperwork, all this, and as long and as many years as we've worked for decades and centuries, we worked on this planet, we still have to prove ourselves that we're worthy of whatever it is that we're trying to get. At every level, you're tracked. They got to track your record. Okay, do you have a background? Do you have this? Do you have that? Oh, you're not qualified. What are you talking about? When you go to a job, don't they train you? I've never been to a job they didn't train me. Whether you go to school or not, you still got to be trained, because you don't know what's really going on. So anybody that's got common sense can walk up the street and walk onto a job, and they train them and they could do it. But the system puts all of this in your way so that you can't achieve. You have to learn how to get out of the system. You got to think out of the box. You really do. And I want to tell you something else too, because I've heard this for decades. People say, They don't want to be in network marketing. They don't like internet marketing. They don't like this. They don't like that. That's because you don't know what it is. Because nobody has really explained it to you. And when you get into these different multi-level marketing companies, you don't get trained most of the time by the right people. So you really don't know what you're doing. So when you get started, it don't take but 3 months for most. And they're off doing something else. Oh, that didn't work. Well, a traditional business takes 3 to 5 years. Why wouldn't you want to work something that maybe in the next 2 to 3 years would put you financially free? At least it would make you more comfortable. I mean, how many of you would just be tickled if I showed you how to make an extra $1,000 a month? Plenty. I could tell you over 50 to 75% of the people would love to have an extra $1,000 a month. But you have to stick with it. You can't get into something and just quit because nothing is going to happen. It takes years. Even the people that are, celebrities that are in, movies, singers, dancers, all kinds of professions. A lot of them, it took them years before you even heard their names. You even knew who they were. So it's not that easy to do. But you got to be motivated. You got to want it for yourself. And you can't let anybody tell you what you can't do. You let the brokest people tell you what you can't do. Can't nobody broke tell me that. I'm going to tell you that right now. They can't do it. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to make some things happen no matter what. And I'm not going to raise my kids up, which mine is grown, but I wouldn't raise my kids up either and try to tell them what they should or shouldn't be doing. Well, you know what? Everybody in the family's been in the family business, and they're like, okay, well, that's fine if that's what they want to do, but if they don't want to do it, don't do it. You know what? Life is too short. You need to pick and choose what makes you happy and be around the people that make you feel happy. Otherwise, next. And that's the bottom line. Go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. Another thing, too, and we talk about, I'm going to say it again, about the black card. And the black card is something that everybody should have because it really is freedom. When you have your money in the banks, I know people feel like they're safe in the bank. Okay, yeah, they're insured up to $250,000. But most people don't have $250,000, so it don't even matter, okay? If you got $20,000 in the bank, you'd be doing good. Most people don't have that. But one thing about the bank, your money will sit there. They're not going to say, well, you know what, we got a program here where we can help you take this money and make some more money. They're not going to do any of that. And if you overdraw your account, you're going to pay a $35 fee. There's really nothing good about a bank. Now, if you're trying to get a loan for a house or something like that, okay, you don't have a choice. But you still need to have good credit for that. Otherwise, they're going to charge you high interest rates and rob you to death. And you don't even know what you're doing. And you should be trying to get a 15-year mortgage instead of 30-year mortgage so that you can pay it off in 15 years, and those other 15 years that you would be paying on it could go in your pocket. See, nobody teaches that. That's why people are broke, because they don't know any of this information. It's too much information out here to know. You can't be a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, accountant, housekeeper, you can't do all of these things in your lifetime. So you have to get information from other people. And you can learn a lot from other people. So I'm going to tell you today, and I would love to help some people who really want to make money and want to change their lives and not work hard at it. You know what? I don't have a problem with, working hard if you have to. But I try not to work hard. I'm going to tell you about me. I'm not trying to do it. I've done all the hard work I want to ever do. And you can do a whole lot of work just being at home, okay? I'm not even just talking about a job. You can just be at home and do too much work, okay? So let's get out of that. I have a group on Facebook that's entitled Entrepreneurs Mad Money, for the people who are really serious about a lifestyle change and would like to make some extra money, whether it's $300 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever the case may be. It's available. And I'm willing to get with you, with my team of people, and show you exactly what you need to do without spending thousands of dollars to open up a business. And you can do it from home. And this is something that anybody can do, okay? It's not like you have to have any special knowledge, or you've been in business before, or you know a lot of people. You don't have to know a lot of people. But it's a sure way that you can make money right now without spending out a lot of money right now. So if you're interested, you should go to Facebook and you should sign up for that group, because I'm going to be sending invitations out only to that group. It's a secret group, so nobody will know that you're in the group except the group people. If you're not in the group, you won't know who's in the group. It is a secret group. And the reason that is because we want to talk to people who are very serious and will get excited about what we're going to share and really take their businesses to another level. And it doesn't matter what kind of business it is, okay? It does not matter what kind of business it is. It can help any business. And we're going to train you. We're going to show you how to do this. And it's not much training involved, but just so that you get the idea of how money is generated and how it's being generated and how people are making a lot of money through the internet. And so it doesn't matter if you're not on the internet. It doesn't matter. You can still do it. The internet just makes it much simpler, because, you know, you can go to your internet and pull up stuff. But some people aren't into that yet. But it's okay. You don't have to be. Because once it's set, it can go on its own. And you don't have to worry about it. So I would encourage you to join the group. It's Entrepreneurs Money Madness. So that you can at least listen and hear what we're doing, other people are doing, and how it can absolutely change your life. Also, you can call in now if you like, if you have any questions. If you have credit issues, you need to work on those right away, because that will stop you from getting a house, a nice car without paying 25% interest. It'll be your backbone, so that if you need extra cash, you'll have a backup. As I said before, this is the book that I wrote back in 2004, Credit Jail, How to Break Out, trying to educate people on their credit and what they needed to do. And since then until now, nothing has changed. The same laws are in place, and they're still not following the law. So any negative information that you have on your credit reports, you need to get them off, because they're not following the guidelines. We as consumers have rights, but we have to know what our rights are, and we have to fight for them. You just don't have rights and say, oh, that's my right, because they're not going to listen to that. You got to have the proof and show them, this is what the law says, and this is what you're going to do. Bottom line. Just like the people that's trying to come over from whatever it is over the country to try to get into the United States, and they was blocking them and separating their kids, and the kids going one way and they going another way because of the law said that. The law, come on. They ought to quit it. This is God's land. They don't own it. It was stolen years and years ago. That's why they have all the control. And now they want to stop human beings that are breathing from having a better life because they don't think they're good enough. Give me a break. Who are they? Who do they think they are? So we've got to control and take back our own futures. And we've got to start educating. See, we need education at home, education in the churches, and we get some education in schools. But we're not getting all the information. We should be ready to rock and roll. When we get out of school, we should be able to go to work, save us some money, maybe invest in some income property or something, and have a backup so that we're not working like slaves all of our lives. It just doesn't make any sense. It's craziness. And it's not going to get better unless we make it better. You remember Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks had enough. She didn't just talk about it. Rosa Parks made it happen. She says, no more. I'm not going to sit on the back of the bus no more. And she said, I'm going to sit up in the front. I don't care about going to jail. I'd have been standing right there with her. Okay? I promise you I would have. They'd have sure enough had to throw me off the bus. It'd have been on and popping. Okay? I can tell you that. So with that, also, Pastor James, I'm looking forward to meeting him at his church on Sunday. If I don't make it this Sunday, the following Sunday, because he has opened up his church, and I think it's just wonderful. Where's the church at, Pastor James?
Well, thanks, Miss Holly. The church is located at 4450 Cedar Avenue. That's inside the Phyllis Wheatley building. They have a huge gymnasium in there. And every Sunday at 10.
Oh, every Sunday at 10. That's fabulous. I know where Phyllis Wheatley is. It's been on there for 100 years.
Hundreds of years.
Yes, yes. So, you know, we can always come and join us at Pastor Larry James and Kathy, his wife, at their church. Yes. Feel free to come down. He said 10 o'clock on Sundays.
That's right.
So I visit churches a lot. I have a lot of good pastors that I love to death.
Amen.
And I just love to go visit them. I love Pastor Anthony at the Glenville Church up on 105. He's an outstanding pastor as well. You know, I always talk about Apostle Lady Dorsey and Chelsea Purnell.
Yes.
I mean, if it wasn't for Chelsea Purnell, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here today.
Wow.
So I have to thank her.
Absolutely.
She invited me to the event that we went to on, was that Saturday?
Yes.
Was it? It was a Saturday? Yes. Who's That Lady with Danella Ligon Ministries. It was a fabulous affair. It really was. Anybody that missed that, they missed it. So I just love to meet and greet. But I want to get people to living a better life. Okay? I want you to be able to go out and buy the house of your choice, the car of your choice, travel, do all the things that you need to do because you deserve that for yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't deserve it, because you do. I believe in that, and I want to see everybody prosper. But I'm going to tell you something. This is 2018. And if you're doing the same thing in 2018 that you were doing in 2017, guess what? You still in 2017. And when 2019 come in, you're going to still be in 2018, okay? So with that, we're going to close out. I want to thank you so much for joining us. I told you I was going to give you 3 more statements here. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're getting more done. Number 2, don't confuse movement with progress. And number 3, and this came from Denzel Washington, all 3, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So thank you so much for being with us. Have a great evening. I'll see you on the next Thursday, first Thursday of every month. I'll be back with you, and we're going to let you hear the ending of Rain as we say good night.